Well, latest figures from the Gambling Commission, the industry regulator, suggest 2 million people either have a gambling problem or risk becoming addicted. And a UK government review into gambling is due to be published in the coming days. TV adverts will be part of that review. Carolyn Harris is the Labour MP for Swansea East, who's campaigned on gambling reform. She joins us now. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, Gareth. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I know we spoke to you an awful lot about fixed odds betting terminals in bookshops, in betting shops, which you're against. Where do you stand on gambling adverts on TV?
Well, I think it's a little bit irresponsible, if I'm honest, that you put in gambling adverts in front of potentially millions of people. You've already mentioned the fact that a very high percentage of people who have a problem with gambling. It's a little bit too tempting to do that. But what really concerns me is that, we're saying that we shouldn't be exposing children to things which could be potentially harmful, and yet we don't see nothing wrong with doing this with shirt advertising, with gambling adverts. We really need to be a bit more responsible about the way that we exposing young people and people with a problem to their drug of choice.
Is there any evidence to suggest that if you're a child watching it, though, you will be more inclined to go out and gamble?
Well, I think it's normalising it. It's making it part and parcel of normal society, when it really shouldn't be that blatant that young people can say, it's adverts. I don't know if you've ever seen these photographs. There's webcams go around stadiums, and they actually put up pictures on the screen of young people in the audience. The caption around it will be from a leading betting chain. So that's mixing the message of young people and children with gambling. I mean, that to me is totally unacceptable.
Do you think it's looking at the rules as how they're set rather than banning it outright then? Because you can't, for example, sell a replica jersey to a youngster if it's sponsored by an alcohol company or a betting company.
No.
But so is it tinkering with the rules rather than an outright ban?
Well, I think they tried to tinker with cigarettes, didn't they? That didn't work. They had to do it as an all-out ban. So I think maybe that's the way we go. It's about responsibility. You've already mentioned that young people are not allowed to buy or even to wear football shirts, a sponsorship where there's banning on it. The FA prohibits young people under 18 from having that. So, is it acceptable that, you probably know this, but 9 out of the 20 Premier League clubs have got betting institutions on their shirts, including Swansea, which I'm not very happy about. It's not acceptable that we're exposing young people and people with a problem. A lot of people get attracted into gambling through sports betting. When we normalise it like this, it's just a case of it's okay to do it. And when we see, I personally have seen so much tragedy as a result of addiction to gambling, and it's the next step is onto the FOBTs. No, I don't think tinkering is enough. I think we need to start legislating.
You've mentioned normalising gambling twice now. Doesn't the National Lottery normalise gambling?
The National Lottery at least has some good points to it. I do the lottery infrequently, but
well, you could argue that with any sponsorship of a sports team, if you get kids playing football, if the money filters down, that's an argument that doesn't quite hold water.
Well, for me, when you look at how much money is given in good causes from the National Lottery, which is something like £7 billion a year, and yet we're losing on FOBTs £8 billion a year. So there's more harm being done from a participation in the gambling than there is in participation of the National Lottery. So, I think the National Lottery is probably the more benign end of gambling. I'm not a big gambler myself, but it's part of everyday life now. It's become a big part of.
But if you were going to apply the rules to gambling around fixed odds betting terminals, around gambling at football matches, but you surely need to apply the same rules to the National Lottery, don't you?
Well, no, I think the National Lottery is a different thing, isn't it? It's become a bit of a national institution now. No, I don't see the National Lottery as being such an addictive problem. Scratch cards, maybe. If you're talking about the scratch cards, that's a different thing. And I don't think people actually bet much more than the basic £2, isn't it? A stake on the National Lottery. That's a little bit more controllable, and being able to put in endless amounts of money.
Sure, but nothing to stop you spending endless amounts of money on a lottery ticket either.
I suppose if you've got a problem with it, yes, then the answer is going to be yes. But I don't personally see that the National Lottery is as an addictive a problem. I've yet to meet anyone who's had a problem with that, but I've met thousands of people who have a problem with going into the bookmakers and actually placing bets on machines.
Okay, good to speak to you. Thank you very much for your time. That's Carolyn Harris, who's the Labour MP for Swansea East.